Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of the world. There is no precedence for it. As a result, they can go into their computers and say, this is what's going to happen, this and this and this. Folks, I plead with you. I have just finished producing a 3.5 hour DVD series entitled Secrets of the Elite. Also a CD, which you will get as a gift with that 3.5 hour DVD series, which you watch on your television at home. The CD, hour and 12 minutes, will tell you almost to the month when the elite plan to bring about the financial collapse. Brent, I felt so, I had to save so many dinner tables and people till I did it. Folks, would you please jot down our toll-free line, then I'm going to give you these quick items on what the Federal Reserve just did. Please jot down our toll-free number. It's 1-888-799-6111, or go if you'd like on the web to prophecyclub.com, prophecyclub.com, or toll free 888-799-6111, Secrets of the Elite. Now, the Federal Reserve said we're going to purchase $40 billion worth of mortgage securities. I asked my elite friend, what is the Federal Reserve going to do with this? He said they're going to buy derivatives. Do you realize, every person listening to this program, your house mortgage is being used like a one-armed bandit, Las Vegas-style bet by the Federal Reserve, and they're fractionally reserving it. Are you catching this, folks? This is so dynamic. I mean, you must. The Federal Reserve is going to take that house mortgage and fractionally reserve it. That means they can loan out 90% of it. They'll keep just a little bit. But their $40 billion becomes $360 billion by the time it gets to the derivative market. And in 3 months, the Federal Reserve would have made $1 trillion off of every month, $40 billion pulled out of thin air using those house mortgages as they're going to use them. And a person in China or Russia may very well own your house mortgage. So you've got to get this. You must understand what's happening. So I asked okay, you ready? If you think the other one was startling, my mind was going 1,000 miles an hour. I was speechless, literally, when I was talking with this man. And I asked my elite friend, I said, what will the banks do with their $40 billion each month? And come on, think ahead of me, folks. I said, what will the Federal Reserve do with the house mortgages? He told me. I said, what will your bank? Yeah, Chase, Citibank, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo. What will that lending institution do with $40 billion each month? Are they going to help the economy? No. Are they going to get us a recession? Whenever you hear this man's answer, you are going to explode. So are they going to help small businesses get back in business?
Give it to us, Lindsey. Give it to us, because we only have so much time, and I'm on the edge of my seat as well.
The bank, behind closed doors, the banks have already agreed with the Federal Reserve that they'll buy treasuries. Not one penny of it's going into the economy. The banks have secretly, behind closed doors, my elite friend said, agreed with the Federal Reserve that they'll turn around and take that bill each month indefinitely, and they're going to buy treasuries, T-bills. Why? Because the interest on the national debt has to be paid. People aren't showing up buying the T-bills anymore. The Federal Reserve right now, Mr. Bernanke, is in a horrible condition. He had no choice but to do what he did. And what's it going to do? This is going to deplete. Are you catching this, folks? This is how you can know the date for the collapse of the dollar. This is going to deplete the purchasing power of the American dollar proportionately by $40 billion every month indefinitely until an item that you're paying $1 for now, you'll be paying $2 for. And he gave me all of the ramifications of why they're doing this. I don't have time.
$1,000 loaf of bread. $10,000 loaf of bread. Hey, there. That's.
How long before you can't make that house payment?
Yeah.
How long before people can't make the house payment? And the lending institution will take it back. That's exactly what they want. They'll turn around and rent it to you for the rest of your life. this is so evil. This is so wicked. Well, Brent, on and on we go.
Well, not to worry. I will make sure. I will make sure the phone number and the website are put on our links page. I do that every single time that you're on the show, so you're on that links page numerous times, and we'll give it out before the end of the day. Let me get a couple of questions in on a couple of other things. First, we've gone back and forth on this over the last year. According to the globalist elite, are we moving closer to war with Iran?
No. I know. Everybody's saying we're going to have war with Iran this week, this next week or two. From what I'm gaining, from what I'm talking with my elite, right now, Iran is just one big saber rattling. They come to the UN. They have their time. Unless Israel does something erratic and starts war with Iran, you don't have a thing to be concerned about for the next month or two.
Now, that raises the question. The global elite have a tremendous amount of influence in world affairs. We were talking about Russia and China. Do the globalists have any control or influence over decisions made by the Israeli government?
To a certain extent, but they probably have less control over Israel, which is surprising. I'm sure will be to most of you out there, have a lot less control than they do over China or Russia.
Yeah, that is a bit surprising. But I couldn't help but wonder when I was thinking of what I wanted to ask you this month. Yeah, I never asked you about their influence over Israel. So it is possible Israel could start a war with Iran, even if the globalists don't wish that to happen.
It could, but yet it would be to the globalists or to the New World Order's advantage, because what they want is chaos. They'd like to close down the Strait of Hormuz, if necessary, as a last-ditch effort in order to get the price of crude oil to $150 a barrel.
But now, if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, you know the U.S. is going to get involved in a war, because the U.S. has basically said that we're going to station 2 aircraft carriers out there to make sure the strait remains open.
Not as long as Mr. Obama is this close to an election, and Mr. Obama is still in there. You've got a scenario here of a pandy waste that, according to what the elite are saying, they don't think he'd do anything.
Now, the elite clearly have influence over the U.S. presidential elections, but do they exert influence over the House and Senate, or do they even care? Is that too small for their concern, or do they actually go out there and try and exert influence in terms of whether the House is going to become fully Republican? I mean, the Senate is going to become fully Republican, and you end up with another Bush regime type situation where you have Romney and the 2 houses all on the same party. Does the global elite care? Do they exert influence on those elections?
Yes, and they do already have control. When the health care bill went through, the majority of the American people were not for it. When the Patriot Act went through, the American people were not for it. Washington was flooded with don't do it, yet it was done anyway. They bought off the senators. They bought off the House of Representative members. They saw to it. They have control to the point that that's much smaller than many other issues.
All right. Now, since the announcement by the Federal Reserve of QE3, quantitative easing 3 that we were just talking about, gold and silver have finally started an uphill climb. For a long time, they were sitting in this trench, and now they're starting to go up. And there are already calls from Wall Street for, God help us, QE4. What do you see happening with the value of precious metals at this point? And by the way, are we going to see a QE4? And when do you expect to see the metals actually start to go up that high?
The metals have already started to go up. And if you hold metals, all I'd say is go buy as many more as you've already got. Buy it again. I've said this over and over and over since Mr. Fromm told me a long time ago what their, I found out from them what their coinage is, what their currency is. Gold is going to $3,000 an ounce. Silver is going to go to $75 an ounce. And they're going to back the new world currency with it. It's going up and up and up. It will go up proportionally every month to $40 billion that's pulled out of thin air.
Wow. All right. Lindsey, we could do this all day, but we can't do this all day. We're out of time. I want to give out the contact information. The website, www.prophecyclub.com. That's PROPHECY club.com. That's the website. You can also call toll-free 888-799-6111. That's 888-799-6111. Get the DVD series Secrets of the Elite and ask for the free CD that you're going to get with that, all about the financial shenanigans of the Federal Reserve. Lindsey, thanks so much for your great work and for sharing this time with us every month. God bless you. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. And we'll see you next month.
What a privilege it is to be with you. For those of you who would like the very latest for the past 24 hours, go to LindseyWilliams.net, .net, LindseyWilliams.net.